If you've done a block print before and you want to level up your skills, learning how to do a rainbow roll is a really fantastic way to take your prints from really great to absolutely fantastic. So a rainbow roll is where you use 2 colors or more, and you can create basically a little rainbow to your print. So instead of having it printed in just a single color, it's going to be multicolors, and then there's going to be a gradient, and it's going to look fantastic. So let's get into it. So to do a rainbow roll, first you'll need to have a design to print. So I've drawn out this butterfly on my iPad and then I printed it out. If you want to, you can mimic this one or you can use your own image. So you draw your design, transfer it to a lino block, and then carve it out. And if you've never done that before, I recommend that you go over to my video on designing and carving a lino block, and you can learn all the steps to do that. And if you've never rolled out block print ink before, you can also check out that video as well, and I'll link both of those below. So once you have your block carved, and I have mine here, it's time for the fun part, which is inking. Now I have done one test with this, so you can see it's stained a little bit, but it is cleaned. But it's a bit of a preview of what you're about to see. So let's talk about the colors. So for a rainbow roll, you want 2 different colors, and colors that work best are colors that are not too far apart on the color wheel, so that the color that's in the middle, that the gradient, will be a really nice color. So we know that blue and red, this is more of a pinky red, blue and red mixed together to make purple. So we'll have a rainbow roll that's blue, purple, red, or blue, purple, and pink. So, oh, and before I start rolling out the ink, a note about the brayer that you choose. So you want a brayer that is just a little bit wider than the block that you're printing, because you're going to have blue, you have your mix of purple in the middle, and then your magenta or pink up at the top here. So you need to be able to roll it out so that it fully covers the width of your block. So I can do it this way, but with this brayer, I cannot do it this way because I'd be missing these, and I can't go and try and print this separately because it'll mess up my colors. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that you have a roller that is wide enough that it fully covers your block. Okay, so now I have the 2 colors set out here. I have my cyan and my magenta, or my blue and my pink, and I've put them onto my plate, my inking plate, a little less wide than the actual roller. So we just kind of dab the roller into it and start bringing it down. And this part can take a couple of minutes with the rainbow roll, because first you start bringing it down and it's quite separate. So just very gently go back and forth so you can start mixing that purple centerpiece. Now make sure when you're doing this, you have to go continually in the same direction. So you can go back and forth in the same direction, but you cannot turn and start going that way, because then you're going to get just purple everywhere. So just very slightly, you can go back and forth until you have a transition gradient in the middle. And you can take a look at your baron, make sure it's all covered. I can see I'm missing a spot there. So just press down just a little bit more firmly. See if that covers it. So that should. Okay, so now here's the fun part. So you can decide, like, if you don't want a whole lot of the pink or the magenta, you can kind of shift your roller slightly one way, or if you want a little less blue and more of the magenta, shift it the other way. But just make sure that you're going to be able to cover the width in one roll. Okay, so now let's do this and see how it looks. There we go. So you can go back and forth and back and forth. And you can re-ink. And again, make sure that you're going in the same direction as you did before. And I'm just going to do a little bit more. Now it's time to print. So you take your paper, set it down directly on it. Take your baron. You can use a wooden spoon. If you use a wooden spoon, do not use one that you use for food as well, because you can get ink on it, and you do not want to mix your ink and your food, ever. So you press down. We'll see how this first print looks. Sometimes the first print is a little bit spotty. Let's take a look. Oh, and that looks not too bad at all. So let's just take a closer look. There you go, your nice, beautiful rainbow roll. You have the magenta on top. It turns into a purple and then turns into the blue. So let's just do one more very quick print, because with block printing, it can take a couple of prints before it really gets to full color. And you can add more ink, pull down some more of your pinks and your blue, and just remember you can just slightly move your roller this way or that way just to make sure that the purple gradient gets re-inked as well. And roll it on. And as you print more and more prints with the same roll, your gradient will start expanding. So you're not going to get necessarily a really narrow gradient, because it will just keep expanding with each time that you print. Now let's take a look at this next one. Straight down. Press on it, make sure all areas of it get a bit of a pressing. Okay, and now time to take a look at how we did. And there we go. See, that one has the much more color. It's much more solid. Still some spotty spots, but that's fine. It's okay to have some that aren't 100% inked, because again, that's block printing. And there you go. That's as easy as it is to do a rainbow roll. And it's, I could have printed this in just a single color, but it really, really brings it up in a whole level by printing it in multiple colors.